Welcome, everybody. You are tuning into Streaming Basics, getting your content online. My name is Emily with GCN, Georgia Center for Nonprofits. We are glad to have you today. Our presenter is going to be Chelsea Steverson from Dad's Garage. She runs all their live streaming, was just telling me a moment ago about teaching improvisers how to use technology. So she's certainly a pro at that. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Chelsea.
Thank you. Good morning. I guess afternoon now, everyone. I hope you are making it through. I don't know where you're at or how you're at, but I do hope you are well. As Emily said, I do a lot of live streaming now for Dad's Garage. I am their marketing director, but in this trying time, we have shifted to a digital platform. So I have been working over the last couple months to continue to assure that we make sure laughs get to people and do that in a digital way. But even before I was with Dad's Garage, I am a professional Twitch streamer myself. On the side, it is what I do. Is, I guess you could say, my creative offering or my personal offering. So I come at it from two different perspectives: the individual artist as well as the organization. So hopefully it will give us enough perspective today to give you a very brief and kind of top-down view of what streaming is. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just share my screen with all of you so that I can go ahead and start into the PowerPoint, because I think that's going to be the easiest way, because I have a small agenda for us so that you know exactly what we will be doing today. All right, I should be able to. Yes, here we go. Yeah, let's just share the screen. Okay. Hopefully all of you can see that. If you don't mind, maybe anybody giving me just a quick response in chat to let me know that you see the PowerPoint there. This is Streaming Basics, Getting Content Online. Perfect, great. Yeah, I got it, wonderful, great, love it, thank you, chat. All right, this is what we're doing. This is who I am. I say that, there we go. So today we're going to talk about what is live streaming. Before you can go hit a record button, before you can even go out, it's important to understand what it is and why it's different than, say, putting a video on YouTube, or how it is different than a GIF or any of the other mass amounts of digital content that is available out and in the world and on the internet. We're going to talk about what are streaming platform options. Most everyone is aware that there is social media. There's Instagram and Facebook in the bare minimum, but there are also some other options. Dad's Garage made a decision to go to Twitch as our main streaming platform of choice. So we'll talk about what is available on the market right now for you to use. And then we're also going to go over, when I say basic, I mean, I'm going to give you a bulleted list of tech needs and some do's and don'ts. I will not be able to dive into a lot of tech today. Really, I just want you to be able to know, if I'm an individual, here's what I need. If we're a group of people, here's what we need. And then some additional need to knows that come out of that. And then at the end, I want to open it up for questions. We may find that some of our questions go a little bit deeper than what we cover today. And if time allows, I'll be happy to dive into that. If not, ask GCN for more, because I have more to give in terms of that information. So it may be that another class is necessary for a deeper dive in how to set the technology up and things of that nature. All right, that's what we're looking at for today. This is me when I'm not at Dad's Garage. This is my moniker. This is my handle. This is what I do. I use streaming and digital platforms as a place to tell stories. I do most of that through gaming, not video games, but tabletop RPGs, and through collaborative storytelling events like online play readings, voiceover events, charity events, and those kinds of things. This is the bare minimum setup for streaming. Headset, laptop. We'll talk more about it, but I show this picture because I think people get a misunderstanding of what is needed to go live. So I started here. Now I have 3 monitors and a massive desktop and a lot of money poured into equipment, but this is where I started. Here are some screenshots of my Twitch channel. And I show you this because of really the chat aspect of it. And not because of Twitch. Facebook has this, Instagram has this. but it is important. And as we talk about audiences and what streaming means to audiences, it's going to be important for you to remember that the chat is there and don't ignore them. All right. So what is live streaming? It is just what it sounds like. It is the feeding of live video to another platform. That's kind of the bare minimum, I guess you could say. But what it does is it provides a level of connection between a company and your patrons using social media and content creation platforms. Your viewers can interact with you in a way that they can't when they're sitting at home at midnight rewatching a YouTube video you posted. You can't be there for that. With live streaming, you can. And it creates a different atmosphere and a different community between a business and their patrons. So it is, in fact, especially in these times, the closest actual face-to-face dialogue that you can get with the people who use or consume your product. And like I said, it is powerful in a time like this. It is an opportunity to continue offering what it is that you do. So some research has shown, this research was taken before coronavirus hit the States, but before coronavirus hit, there's an expectation that by 2021, we will see a 500% increase in live streaming. Just a little bit of information. An increase to everybody going to a digital platform, which means if you're not there in some way, there might be an opportunity that is missing for you. So the key things, in my opinion, to successful streaming, whether you do it once a month to like Dad's is doing, where we're streaming sometimes 7 hours of content 5 days a week, it doesn't matter how much you stream as much as the priority behind the streaming. And really the most successful content creators that are out there know their business needs when they go into this. Why are you live streaming? They know that what they're putting out is serving the current audience that they have. It serves them well. And they figure out the best way to monetize that content. Sometimes it's simply dropping a PayPal link in chat, but a monetization of that product so that you can continue. Any questions? I'm interested to know from chat, have any of you never seen a live stream? I hope that in your Facebook days, you've seen at least one live stream. But if you've never seen a live stream, the first thing you need to do is go watch some. And I encourage even those of you that are like, oh, I watched my best friend live stream, or I've live streamed a couple times. Too many to count. Yeah, exactly. And the reason is because it is so accessible. We've seen so many live streams, and we've seen them all kinds of ways. But there are live streams now for everything from social eating, where people get together. One of our most successful shows on Dad's Garage channel is not a comedy show. It is a lunch hour with Lucky Yates, where he just sits down and has lunch. That's it. That's all he does. And people show up to watch him. Successful live streams can include information sessions. And we will have kind of a place where I talk about ideas. And I hope that some of you will bring some of your ideas to the table, or maybe some of the struggles that you're having. But when you think about these live streams, at the core of all of them, as they vary across the spectrum, at the core of all of them, they are all doing one thing, and they are trying to connect more directly with their audience, which is literally all nonprofits need. And that's all we're ever trying to do, is to get more to our audience. So there are a few platforms for making that happen. A lot of them, in fact. Are you wanting to be on Facebook? Do you want to be on Instagram? Do you want to be on Twitter? YouTube now has a live streaming option if you already have a YouTube audience. So what I'm going to do in this next section is go through these one-on-one. Now, for things like Facebook, you're obviously going to be a lot more aware of what that looks like and how to do that. But each one of these platforms have their own niche, and streaming across all of them may not be right for your company. So Facebook Live is right now the best and easiest option for people starting out. Everybody has a Facebook page. All of our nonprofits have a Facebook page. This means we can literally hit a single button on Facebook and go live. That's it. Just hit the go. You can do it on your cell phone, and you can do it on your computer. I believe they now have like a desktop version where you can use like a webcam off a laptop or a computer. But Facebook has also, within the last week, this is very exciting, announced a few additional changes that they will be making to live streaming. We should see it start to hit in the next couple of weeks. It's part of this big update that they're going through. And that is that they are going to provide the opportunity to accept payment to be able to watch the live stream, like a ticket, almost. So you'll be able to charge in advance for them to be able to access the content, which is pretty exciting, putting things behind a paywall. So Facebook is, in essence, the bare minimum. It has a chat feature. And I'll say it again, you need to be chatting with your audience. And I don't just mean there to drop a link. Like, for example, when you all popped into chat this morning into Zoom, what is the first thing I did but greet every one of you? Until there were too many of you for me to greet in order. But the first ones of you that came in, I took my time to greet every one of you. When I live stream, I take time out of my stream. The first 30 minutes of my stream is dedicated to welcoming people on average. That connection makes all the difference. And Facebook is lowest hanging fruit. Everybody uses it. And more than likely your largest followership across all of your social medias will be on Facebook. In addition, Facebook archives basically the video. It becomes a video on your Facebook page when it's all done, which is also really, really, really nice. The next one I'll talk about, if anybody out there has a large Twitter following, if your company is on Twitter and you are finding a lot of engagement there, it may be worthwhile to live stream to Twitter. I bet you didn't know you could do that. It's because Twitter uses a company called Periscope, Periscope Live, to do that. It connects both on your cell phone and on your desktop. You can bring it up and it's the same thing. It connects directly to your Twitter. It's like a dashboard. You hit the go button, you point a camera at yourself and you're live on Twitter. So Periscope is the way to do that if you want to have access to a Twitter live stream. YouTube also now is no longer just a place for video. It is also a place for live streaming. In fact, YouTube has done two different things. First one is a live stream option where, just like Facebook or Periscope or Twitch, you can just go live and it archives that video direct to YouTube. In addition, YouTube has launched something called the Premiere option, which for companies that may be creating, say, video or art of some kind, and you want to present it, basically you upload the video to YouTube and it launches at a specific time and everybody shows up in a live chat feed to watch the video firsthand. A lot of film companies are having success with this. A lot of art companies are having success with this, where they're showing off like art and you know, the visual piece of things, and people just show up to watch the premiere launch of that thing. YouTube allows for both of those, which is kind of nice and maybe a better option than just flat live streaming for your company, depending on capacity and time. There is also Instagram. I mean, I'm sorry, not Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live. LinkedIn Live is great for businesses. If you happen to have a vast following on Instagram, I'm going to keep saying on LinkedIn, you should consider streaming there. They have a really simple setup. It's very much like Facebook, and it's a plug and play and go. So if your content and your audience is more along the business line and what you do is serve people, that might actually be the better place for it. And again, it archives it, I believe, to your LinkedIn page so that people can view it again afterwards. So I've saved Instagram and Twitch for last. I saved Instagram for last because it is the anomaly in the social media world of live streaming. Instagram does not play nice with everyone else. Even though it's owned by Facebook, Instagram only allows you to stream up to 1 hour of content. So, for example, when I ran the Georgia Gives Day, right, I hosted all of that. That was a 5-hour event. Facebook had no problem, but we would never have been able to stream to Instagram. In addition, Instagram's API, which is just a big word for saying it's technology that makes it do its thing. The API for Instagram does not feed anywhere else, meaning I can't connect it to anything. I can't connect it to a computer. I can't live stream to Instagram from my desktop. It has to be from a cell phone. Instagram, much like Snapchat, wants the feeling of it being personal and not about businesses. So most average businesses do not have access to be able to live stream the same way. And even then, even if I was, say, I think you have to have like 10,000 followers on Instagram and you have to be approved and all this other stuff. Even if I was to go live on Instagram and I was, say, a horizontal feed, it will show it horizontal. It's not ideally mapped to the vertical framework of Instagram. So Instagram is really meant for people that have an Instagram audience. And if you have an Instagram audience, a really, really strong one, go live to Instagram, but recognize you're a bit minimized on what you can actually do, because most of the technology and the list that I'm going to give you today does not function with Instagram. So cell phones are the best way to live stream to Instagram that I have found. And then the last one is Twitch. If you have a youngster in your life, they may have mentioned Twitch at some point to you. Twitch is a live streaming platform that focuses on gaming, or did when it started. Now it focuses on all kinds of things and has almost 2.5 million viewers on a day-to-day basis. It is one of the largest live streaming platforms, and its audience is ever growing. In fact, since Twitch put out an interesting article that said since the quarantine, the top watched category is just chatting. It's no longer video games on Twitch. Oh yeah, I appreciate the youngster comment. I too also live on Twitch. It is like I said, it was by day I'm Dad's Garage, by night I'm on Twitch. So that's where I stream to. That's where Dad's is streaming to. For those of you that have never seen Twitch, it is its own thing. Actually, let's see. I might be able to quick pull it up. I could probably quickly do that for all of you. For if you've never seen Twitch, it's gonna seem like a lot. And you're going to very quickly, oh, it looks like I am signed in with Dad's Garage. Everybody gets a channel. So just what it sounds like. Everybody gets a channel. So I don't know. Well, let's go see what's on right now. It looks like there's a rave-a-thon happening. You can see just chatting. There are categories by what people are playing and doing. This is the front page. So these are going to be, so basically, it started out as video game play, and over time it has shifted to just other things. Like this person is just chatting. They're just sitting there talking to people just like you would on Facebook. This person's playing a video game. But each person, when you sign up, gets a, Jack AM is one of my favorite shows, gets a page. And it's like having a PPS broadcasting channel. It's like your channel, and you can put what you want on that channel. But Twitch requires a very different level of technology and programs to do that. It is not plug and play. I cannot go to the backside of Twitch and hit a button like I can on Facebook and go live. It requires a secondary software, in essence, to make that happen. Go back to my presentation for all of you. So these are, right now, the most worthwhile platforms to be on. You do not need to be on all of them. I highly suggest you're not on all of them. I suggest that you find the right platform for you. Vimeo, great question, Rebecca. Vimeo is very similar to YouTube. It almost identical. They are competitors, and therefore their product is almost the same. So just like YouTube, you should be able to, it's a video hosting site first and foremost, and that's something else that people need to be aware of. Vimeo and YouTube's audience, its built-in audience, is not a live streaming audience. It's a video watching audience. So YouTube and Vimeo have now put in a live streaming platform to try to change the audience over. But the majority of what's still there are people that want to just watch videos, which is fine. Are we talking about Patreon? Patreon is not a live streaming site. It is a funding site for creators. Great. Oh, great questions. Does a person have to download Twitch to watch? If you want to post something and they provide a link, is that possible? Or do they already have to have a Twitch account? That actually depends on the channel. Some channels have their chat set to follower chat only, meaning you have to follow that channel, meaning you do have to have an account. Others are not. What we just watched on the front page of Twitch, you don't have to have an account to watch that. You can simply go to twitch.tv and pull it up and just scroll through it and find something. There is, in fact, a theater and performing arts category. There is, in fact, a musical theater or a musical performance category. There is a just reading for all of you out there that do readings of plays. There is a Yeah, there's all kinds of categories, but you should just go scour, because Twitch is, like I said, Twitch has taken every aspect of the other ones, Facebook and Instagram, and what's great about YouTube and what's great about all these things, and put them into one platform, which means that the breadth of what it can do is much larger, but it also means it's a larger dedication to making it happen. Which of these platforms can utilize a pay to watch option? Great question, Anita. I will say this, because this is something that is a hard pill for people to swallow. It is a proven fact that people believe that videos that are live streamed, most people believe that it should be free to watch. We are a free to watch society. Our country has built so much of that way. And I think we're getting somebody's mic. Everybody check your mics for me. We are a free to watch society. We want to go to YouTube and watch our video, and we don't want to have to pay for it. So how does YouTube get around that? They make us watch 2 minutes of ads before we can watch that free video. With live streaming like Facebook and Instagram, I'll go ahead and tell you, most people will not watch if you are putting it behind a paywall. Not to say that you shouldn't. But most Twitch channels function off of what is known as a micro donation process, which means that you are receiving, instead of receiving one donation of $50, you're receiving 10 donations of $5 or less, which means you're getting the same amount of money, but from more people. And it is a gamified way that places like YouTube and Twitch are using to get people to give money. Now, that being said, there are a couple other options. If you are looking at any kind of social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Periscope, there is no built-in way to charge money at the moment. The option is to do exactly what we did for Georgia Gives, which is to drop a link and suggest people pay, or suggest people donate. Like I said, Facebook has made the announcement that they are looking at a pay to watch option, but I will go ahead and tell you, I have a gut feeling, based on the way that Facebook usually launches things, that it will be limited to business accounts only. I don't believe that individuals would be able to do that, because once an individual starts charging for you to watch their content, now they're a business, and there's tax, there's things there, there's businessy things that have to get involved. So if you're coming from an individual standpoint, you're definitely not probably going to be able to have that option. If you are a business, and I'm assuming all of this, they will probably have a rollout plan, meaning larger businesses will get to test the beta first, and then smaller businesses with smaller followings will get it once the beta is tested and fully launched. The only other sites that I know that there is a proper monetization, like built-in monetization option, YouTube has one through basically subscriptions. And I don't mean like hit the subscribe button, the subscribe part. I mean like actually paying $5 a month to subscribe. Twitch has multiple monetization options, but you cannot start with monetization options on Twitch. You are required to meet a bare minimum of qualifications to gain what's known as affiliateship status. And once you have done that, which includes a certain amount of average viewers, you have to have streamed so many hours in a week on so many certain days. Like you have to meet these criteria, and then you go through a process where they will review your channel and decide whether or not you should be allowed affiliateship status, and then you can start raising money. When Dabs launched its Twitch channel back in March, on its very first day, was it February? Lord, I've lost track of time. Back in March, we did not launch under affiliateship. We just launched the channel, and we continued to drop a PayPal link in chat for people to pay. I would say our first major goal was $10,000, and we raised 5 of that without direct monetization in Twitch. We did that just with a PayPal link. Is there a time limit on Twitch? There's no time limit on Twitch, Kim. I could stream 24 hours straight if I wanted to, because it is my channel. It's my broadcasting station. Is there an estimated launch date for these updates? So Rebecca, Facebook is currently rolling these out now. Some of you may already have seen some of the updates to Facebook, like the actual just like aesthetic of Facebook is updating. And it was last week when they made the announcement that this thing was coming. They said it would be available within the next few weeks. They were very vague, so I have no other information. Can you upload videos to Twitch, or is it only for live? Another great question, Kim. Twitch does allow you to check your. Let's try that again. Okay. Just remember, so Twitch, yes, you can. At a certain point, there is on Twitch, you can do what's known as a rebroadcast, which means basically you can load a video up and restream it out. Dad's Garage is currently doing that. We are rebroadcasting shows from our archive that we have every Friday and Saturday night. Right now, I'm using a program, and I will get to this, called OBS, which is a much deeper dive and will not get covered today, unfortunately, on how to do that. But yes, you can do that. Yes. It doesn't just have to be live. You can do a rebroadcast, just kind of like you can to YouTube, where you set like a scheduled premiere date. My suggestion is all videos need to be an MP4. Always. MOV is custom to Mac and does not work across all platforms. MP4 does. So speaking of technology, let's actually just take a second to talk about, like, what does it take? We know where you can go out to, but what do you actually need to get started? If you are a single person, even if you're representing an organization and you're going to be the person who has to be the face on these live streams, but it's just you have a much easier job. If you're just a single person, you need internet. And I'm going to say this up front. You need quality internet. And this is not, if you have the bottom tier of Comcast internet, it is not enough to live stream. It's enough for you to watch your Netflix shows at night, and it's enough for you to watch your YouTube videos and for you to send emails and do your day-to-day work. But live streaming requires almost double what day-to-day activity requires in terms of internet connectivity. So just know, if you're going to start, like when I started hosting all this for Dad's Garage, knowing that I was going to have 12 improvisers in a Zoom call and I was going to be broadcasting across multiple networks and all this kind of stuff, I went and just upped my internet to the best that Comcast could give me, because I didn't want the issue of my internet dropping or the bandwidth not being enough. So quality internet, a computer or a cell phone. And when I say computer, it can be a desktop, it can be a laptop, or it can be a cell phone. Nowadays, most laptops and cell phones have a built-in webcam and a built-in microphone. Definitely for cell phones, especially if it's a smartphone. And then you would need that webcam and that mic. Right now, webcams and microphones are very hard to come by. Everybody wants them because we need them for our work from home jobs and people that are starting their streaming. So if you need a camera or a microphone, and that's something that you're going to want to order it now. It doesn't have to be expensive. That's also a misconception. When I started, I had a $35 webcam, and I started out with I think my microphone was like $60. I think I started out with a $60 microphone. It was a plug and play USB. I did not run through a soundboard. It was nothing fancy. Over time, I've upgraded. I now use a Yeti model. I don't think this is the blue, but it is a Yeti. It is a Yeti microphone, because I do podcasting and a lot of other things, but bare minimum to start. I will also tell you this. I was actually joking with Emily about this before the class started. Today's cell phones have better cameras and microphones than most laptops. And by most, I mean like 95% of laptops. You are going to get better quality sound and video from your cell phone than you are going to get from a built-in webcam on your laptop. I can promise you. It's actually gotten to the point with Dad's Garage, when I have people call in that are trying to use their laptop microphone, it's usually so bad, I'll actually have them log into the Zoom call a second time on their cell phone and turn their cell phone camera off and just pick their audio up from a cell phone in their lap, because the sound is that much better. Now, but what if I want to do 2 people? Okay. What if I want to be able to have a Zoom call like this one with 4 people, and all 4 of us go live to the channel at one time? We share a conference call, and we do a play reading, or we share in some kind of fellowship, or we have we want to do host our community meeting live. This is where it requires more technology. The moment you stop live streaming as an individual and you're wanting to tie and wrap in a Zoom meeting or multiple people, you are taking the next step into streaming, which requires more technology. Okay, each person still is going to have a webcam and a microphone, but you're also going to have a conferencing software, whether you use Zoom or you use Google Chat or you use, I think Discord now has a built-in option. You're going to need a conferencing software or program. In addition, you're going to have what's known as a broadcasting software. This is what I use for Twitch. And there are multiple different kinds of broadcasting softwares. But in essence, it takes whatever you've got on your computer, feeds it to this program here, and there are multiples of them. And then this program feeds it to wherever you tell it to, Facebook, Twitch, whatever. These broadcasting softwares are necessary for running your video through a server and out to where you want it. That's the big tech piece of it. So, oh, I skipped so many. How did that happen? Let me go back. I skipped over like half my PowerPoint, y'all. There we go. It just went all the way to the end. Let me try that again. So you're going to want to make sure, the biggest thing for me is you're going to want to make sure that you have what you need to start. And if your company is smaller or you're starting out in this, you don't need a lot. Here are the pro tips that I can tell you. I already mentioned it. Cell phones have better microphones and cameras than laptops, without a shadow of a doubt. Good lighting is everything. Good lighting is everything. You could go out and buy $100 webcam, set it up, and have bad lighting, and that webcam is not going to make you look better. It's still going to look bad. So please go use some of these resources from GCN and go check out. I'm actually interested in watching the one on like cell phones and lighting. The best thing and easiest thing I can tell you is if your lighting is coming from behind you, meaning I'm sitting on my front porch and back here is my yard and it's putting all this light on me, it is going to cast you in a silhouette. That's photography 101. All your lights need to be in front of you. Sit in front of a window. Natural light is one of the greatest things in the world. This mechanism you see here on the right with the little ring light and the cell phone holder, I own this. This is what I use. Currently, I am being lit by that object. Well, that and a window, a natural window. But when I sit at my computers and I stream, I use that lighting system right there. It's very easy. It's USB. It plugs right in, and it's got 3 light settings. I don't know. I'll even show you. I can do that. Check it out. It's like magic. You can see now I'm under blue light. Now I'm under orange light. Now I'm in neutral light. I can raise the brightness. It's a very, very handy and very cheap. I think I paid like $14 for mine on Amazon. It was like nothing, the investment, but well worth it. In addition, if you're going to use your cell phone, use a tripod. Get it out of your hand. That is the number one thing I can tell you. Do not hold the camera that you are live streaming from unless you're like walking down the street or doing a walkthrough of your space or the theater. Oh, it's not lighting settings. You should have seen it. If you're seeing my video, it would have changed. It would have changed right there on the screen for you. I'll do it again. I'll cycle through again. Oh. Blue light, red light. Yeah, it's kind of subtle, but it was there. You can probably see it if I do it. I'm at a party now. So, yeah, the product that I'm using, Sally, is the one right there on the screen. It's it's known as a ring light. It clips to clip light. And it USB plugs into my computer or to a USB into the wall, and it just powers right up. Actually, it's a little bright now. I can't quite see. Take it down some. Wear a headset. Let me tell you why. Phones are naturally built because to help with some of the background noise. But if I were right now to take my headset off and unplug it and open the Zoom chat up for all of you to chat and just listen through my speakers, my microphone will pick up what all of you are saying. And then guess what? You're hearing yourself again. And it creates what's known as a feedback loop. It's a loop of your voice. When I put in headphones or a headset, it makes that not happen. If you get on a Zoom call with 12 or 13 people and somebody's voice begins doing that thing where it's just going back and forth, somebody has their speakers on and their microphone is picking up their speakers. That's it in a nutshell. It's picking up their speakers. So I always suggest a headset. Put in a set of a headset. Always turn your camera horizontal. Always. The upright camera position is it has become popular because of Instagram and Snapchat. The upright selfie, this position, right? Where I talk to my camera directly like this. That is about breaking down the barrier of something feeling professional and feeling like a person talking to you. That's how Instagram wants you to live stream your stuff. That's how Instagram wants you to do it. But Facebook and Twitch and YouTube, we all know that we don't watch our videos. Our YouTube videos are not vertical. They're horizontal. So if you are going to use your cell phone, you are going to want to flip it. You could do either, Jesse. The great thing about Zoom, so I'll repeat that question. Does your headset have a built-in microphone, or do you still use your device's default mic? I do not. I have a separate microphone, so I do not use my headset mic, though this one has one. I call it my Britney Spears microphone. I don't use this one. I'm gonna mute myself so you guys don't get a lot of feedback from this, but I'll show it to you. That's this company that makes this microphone is known as Yeti, Y-E-T-I, Yeti. They make very high quality starter mics, a lot for podcasting and a lot for voiceover work. This is one of their higher end models. Yeah. And I have a pop filter on it, but no, I do not use default. I don't use default microphones. I'd suggest that you don't either, unless it's your cell phone microphone, which tends to be better. And the last thing that you all need to know, and I actually added this bullet point right before you all got in here because it's something that crossed my mind. With streaming, there is always a lag. So let's stop and think about it. We're all in a Zoom call. There are, I don't know how many of us, there are 20, 30 people in here, okay? The Zoom server is hosting that. Now, I'm going to go to Facebook. And well, first off, if I'm going to get my Zoom meeting to Facebook, I got to go through this third party, which we're going to talk about here in a second, feed it through. So now I'm going through another server before it ever reaches Facebook. On average, a stream has between a 10 and 30-second lag. So what you put out of your mouth takes roughly 30 seconds for your audience to hear it. Which means if I say, hey, audience, throw out some ideas for an improv scene, or throw out some ideas, or do you have questions? Wait 30 seconds, because they're not even going to hear you ask them for questions for 30 seconds. Bare minimum, I would say. Before then, now they've got to type it in too to get it to you. So give yourself some time. Recognize there's a lag. But that also means there's a lag on other things, like music. If I were to say boot up Spotify right now, which I don't suggest you do live on the internet, but if you wanted to boot up Spotify and you turned on, maybe it's your own music, you turn something on and it starts playing. I could say rap over it, right? No, I couldn't. We don't want to see we don't want to see Chelsea rap. But let's say I did. I started to rap over top of it. You're going to hear my voice before you hear this music, which means there's going to be a delay. They're not going to be in sync. And then by the time it feeds through the program and then back out to Facebook or wherever it's going, there's going to be even more of a lag. There are some technology things to think about when you're wanting to overlay all these things, not just voices. So be aware that there is a lag in a lot of aspects of live streaming. And I'm going to go into it. There's no way around that, because you're feeding excessive amounts of data through multiple servers that are trying to get out to the world. And that just takes some time. So just be aware of that. Okay, so taking your stream to the next level. I keep talking about this broadcasting software, this like other thing. It looks like this. It goes from your laptop, so I capture my camera, I feed it through a broadcasting software, and that feeds out to a social media platform of my choosing, whether that's Twitch or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Now, the reason to do this varies, okay? But it is the next step. Part of it may be I want to get a group of people, my Zoom chat, my Brady Bunch call out to Facebook so that everybody can see us, all 9 of us in a chat, okay? There's no way to do that. You have to have a program that captures the image of your Zoom call and then feeds it to Facebook. You need a secondary program, basically, which is known as a broadcasting software. And there are many of them, and I'm going to give you a list, I promise. Yeah, so that's one simple way. When we did Georgia Gives, I use a broadcasting software. Actually, I use two broadcasting softwares to make that a reality. The first one was we used Zoom to capture everybody's cameras when they came in. I fed that into a program called OBS, and then from OBS to a program called Restream, which fed it to Facebook. That's how I did that, okay? But the other reason you may want to use a broadcasting software is, well, there are a couple reasons. The other reason, it doesn't want to go back, it only goes forward. There it goes, okay. Would be to, what if you want to add something snazzy to it? If you go look at the Dad's Garage streams, if you haven't, you'll see that like we have our goal bar, right? We set a goal, a financial goal that we're trying to reach. And we actually, just like Kickstarter, have a bar right there on screen. When people donate money, that bar immediately fills. Those kinds of specialty things, text overlaid on a screen. What are some other things that you can do? Transition from, say, a rebroadcasting of an old Dad's Garage archive show into an actual live show. The transition of those smoothly, a fade here, an extra thing there, the showing of an image or the sharing of a web page or YouTube video while you're live. These additional things that is literally not just camera to face to Facebook. Any extra that you're going to need has to go through a broadcasting software. And that's where your technology takes steps up a notch, basically. There are also broadcasting softwares that allow you to do what's known as multi-streaming, literally streaming to more than one place at a time. We do this with our Sunday show on Dad's Garage called Gina's Garbage Hour. She has a very large Facebook following, and for the last 2 years goes live every Sunday morning for Gina's Garbage Hour. And we didn't want to isolate her Facebook audience, but we wanted to also bring it to Twitch. So I started looking into programs that allowed me to stream the same thing to multiple locations. And I will tell you about a software that can do that called Restream. But that's basically what it does. It hosts a dashboard where you get one image of yourself, but then that software hits it to Twitch and to Facebook and to Periscope and to LinkedIn, kind of across the board. All right. Here are some additional softwares that you may use if you are choosing to step it up a notch. Zoom is obviously one of them. Hopefully we are all familiar with Zoom. Some things to know about Zoom. If you are going to host 100 or more people, you have to have a paid account. If you're going to host a meeting that's going to last more than 45 minutes, you have to have a paid account. I suggest just getting a paid account. If you're going to use Zoom, it's worth it. The $15 or $14 a month or whatever is well worth it. But Zoom conferencing is, in my opinion, the cleanest web conferencing software. It beats Skype. It beats, My Conferencing, I think is another one. Like Zoom is the clearest and best quality. In addition, it allows you to do things like screen share, like we're doing right now. I could pull up a YouTube video and share it with you all, and you would hear the audio. So Zoom in and itself is almost a piece of software needed to host some of the things that you are doing. The next couple softwares that you see here all do something a little different. Restream is the software that does what I just showed you. Restream allows you to take your video and put it to multiple places. Even if you're just an individual person and you're like, I'm just a person, but I still want to be able to hit my Facebook and my Twitch at the same time. Restream is the product to do that. I genuinely believe that. It is free to sign up for one platform to start. And then after that, it goes into paid accounts if you want to add like 3, and then it's like 10 or something like that. And the other great thing that Restream does is built into Restream are some very bare minimum options for overlaying text. Like if you wanted to have like your guests' names, or you wanted to have the name of the show, some very light options for adding those kinds of things, all built into the one web browser software. And then you have XSplit, which is very similar to Restream. It splits your feed to multiple places. And then you have Stream Elements and what's known as Open Broadcaster Software, or OBS. The industry standard for high-end streamers is OBS. That's this one down here, Open Broadcast Software. It is a program that allows me to, just like I might in, say, Photoshop, using layering, build a beautiful image, okay? It is a software that allows me to build what I want my live stream to look like, to add that gold bar, to add a jar where donations fall out of the sky and splash into it. These kinds of things are all hosted inside of OBS for me. Stream Elements is a very similar program. It allows you, again, to do all the same things. The difference is it's not a software you install on your computer. It's used through a web browser. OBS is physically installed on your computer and is connected to your localized files that are saved on your computer. These things are necessary if you want to go the next route, like, and just do more than just a single person talking to your chat. Yes. Everything that you see here, other than the PowerPoint, I've also made a clickable list for all of you. You'll get that, I think, as a follow-up, and I'll make sure GCN has it. That will include links to all of these places if you want to go check them out yourself. Okay, the last thing I want to cover before I do open up for questions, because I know we're running short on time. You can have all the technology. You can have all the knowledge on how to get your amazing live stream show out to an audience, but it doesn't matter if you don't have an audience. So this is a section I think is important, not because we're about to do a deep dive into marketing, but because I think it is important as you think about what you're bringing to your live streams to think about your audience. Okay, so what? The big question is, okay, great, I have a listen, but what should I stream? What should I stream? Well, maybe you already know. Maybe you need it for your Sunday services or your Sunday schools. Maybe you need it for an art show. Maybe your artists that work for your nonprofit need a place to show live streams of them working. Okay. There are so many options. The thing is that there's no right or wrong answer as long as you're developing that content for the audience you have. So let's think about it. Okay. So the glaring reality is that most businesses treat their content as a means to selling more of their actual products and services, with minimal focus on building a highly engaged, relevant, and ever-growing audience. Consequently, their content becomes commoditized, carrying little or no value in the marketplace. Your live stream should not be about selling your products. It should be about getting your audience hyped for who you are. Now, if it is meant to be a very practical stream, like you need it, for example, like I said, to do Sunday morning service, that's very different. But if you're a nonprofit organization seeking donations in a time where people can't come into your space, where people can't interact with one another, Dad's Garage is a prime example. We can't do live shows. We can't do improv right now. That is what we are built on. But our mission says that we provide laughter, and that does not require a theater. Community can be built in so many places. And I think that the online realm right now and live space is the best way to do it so that we don't diminish all the work that we have done up to this point. So when you're thinking about it, don't think about it about selling product. Think about it as a way to connect to an audience that you may never have connected to before, right? In reality, there are 4 kinds of content consumers: people that watch content online. There are practical content consumers. These are streams and videos. These are videos and live streams that support jobs, careers, practical means, right? This is a perfect place for LinkedIn live streaming. These are people that want to know the things. I'm here to know something, okay? Practical content consumers. Then you have what's known as the hobbyist content. This is content being put out that feeds to a hobbyist audience, helps to enthusiasts to seriously invest in their interests. These are people that watch YouTube cooking shows, or how to crochet online, or the people that go watch a paint by number Bob Ross show. Those are the people that are hobbyist content consumers. Okay, photography, music, crafting. And notice that hobbyist content is separated from entertainment. Entertainment falls into a different category when we think about why people consume things, right? Games, music, film. This is entertainment. And then you have what's known as the experiential content that expands the interactivity of things like books and news, right? And that crosses a big broad line, but it can be everything from, like, that could be review shows, that could be the more you know type shows, that could also be things like a live cast reading of the Harry Potter book. Right? It's a live reading of a book. It's kind of an experiential idea to get everybody together to read these things. So these are the kind of categories in which you need to think about your content and match it to your audience. Think about your audience right now. Who are they? I can go ahead and tell you, at Dad's Garage, when we started talking about this, I looked at my artistic director. I was like, we have to be on Twitch. Our audience is young. They're in the right demographic. So many of them are part of the nerd culture world. So many of them are already using Twitch and watching Twitch for video game streams. It was the right platform for us because that's who my audience is. And then certain shows we continue to Facebook, like Gina's Garbage Hour. But what live streaming allows us to do when we think about our content in that way, it allows us to hit the direct interest of our patrons. It is everything that we talk about working so hard to do. Seriously. And it allows us to mitigate the mess of having I'll use this example, one giant database full of all of these donors. And we're just trying to figure out a way to activate them. We just need to find a way to get them to love it. But I've got a strange grouping of demographics. I've got this weird age group between, say, 21 and 30. But then I've got this much older audience that's 65 plus. Live streaming allows me to say, well, why don't I run 2 different shows? Sort through the mess, work through my audience and say, okay, I've got this really dedicated nerd audience. We need some nerdy shows. That's their time. One of the things we learned about Dad is everybody that loved Dad's Garage, a lot of them have children and they're sitting at home watching our live stream. Now, let's be real, not everything at Dad's Garage is family friendly. So we decided to make a family friendly improv hour. Every day from noon to 1 o'clock, you can sit down with your kids and see a family-friendly section of Dad's Garage Twitch streaming. That is a part of our audience. And so we developed our content for that. Sift through it. Figure out who these people are and build your content around them and their interests. That is a direct line to your patrons in a way that sometimes we can't even do in person. So, fun live streaming ideas. There's actually, in the follow-up links I'll give you, there is one particular article that's really great. It's got a lot of really great ideas specifically for streaming to Facebook. But some of the ways that we can utilize them, and I can talk about how Dad's has done it if anybody has questions, but poll them. Poll them. Facebook has a poll option. Twitter has a poll option. Poll them live. There are online poll things that you could drop a link in your Facebook chat while the show is live, and everybody go vote right now, and do I dye my hair blue or do I dye it pink? Right? A poll. Interact your audience. Ask them what they want to see. Do it before you ever live stream. What would you want to see? Do you want a walk through backstage of the theater? Do you want us to set up a pet cam for, where we just watch the pets of The Office? What is it? Do something that your audience can participate in. Live contests are a great way to do that, but there's a lot of other ways that your audience can participate. Twitch helps because there's a gamification model, like donate so many bits and we'll do a thing, right? Or that's kind of how we're setting our goal bars at the moment. Like when we fill the goal bar, something crazy happens. We do something crazy live. Behind the scenes are great. Show your fans and your patrons a different side of who you are, because this is the first time that you're actually going to be able to do that. Show them something they've never seen before. Team up with influencers. Every social media platform has them. And I bet you have some followers that would be potential influencers, people that have large Instagram followings, large Facebook followings. We did it when we went live. I reached out to a very small handful of influencers, people that I knew would be really important for the launch of Dad's Garage Twitch. I made sure they were there for the first 2 weeks as much as possible, and I made sure that they posted about us as much as possible. And they did it because they loved us, and it helped a lot. So live streaming is a direct link. It's perfect for Q&As. Yeah, social media ambassadors. I love that, Rebecca. Yeah, your social media ambassadors. You're people that can reach where you can't. Live streaming provides a direct link for you and your audience. Q&As are great. Dad's Garage is building up to our 25th anniversary happening in the fall. It's supposed to be a big event, which obviously is probably going to change. So one of the things we decided to do was use some of our content to build towards our 25th anniversary. So once a week, we have a chat called 25 Years of Dad's Garage, where we're bringing in our founders and chatting with them. We're bringing in some of our original improvisers, people that have been like integrated from the beginning, in the Dad's Garage like history and timeline. And it's basically content that's just seeding the 25th anniversary coming up, regardless of what it turns out to be. But that's a great place for Q&As. I know our managing director goes live once a month and does a show where she just updates the general public on where the company's at financially. Have we received any grants? What are we doing to help combat this time? What are we doing for reopening plans? That kind of open sharing and transparency is so easy to do right now. If you're gonna throw an event, or you don't have an event, or you can't have an event, some kind of virtual invitation where you host a room and everybody just hangs out is a great option. And above all, just strive to be creative and come up with something that people can engage with. Nobody just wants to sit there and watch. If I just wanted to sit there and watch, I'd go to a YouTube video. I come to a live stream because I want to interact with the person on the screen. And that's important. In this process, you need to be interactive. And interactive is not just me going, okay, chat, do you have any questions? That is not interactive. Welcoming every person to your chat is interactive. Asking people how their day was before you ever get started, that's interactive. And then most importantly, and the greatest thing about live streaming, and as the marketing director for Dad's Garage, I can tell you that I am leveraging this wholeheartedly. Recycle and reuse, people. That 2-hour-long live stream goes directly into an archive on your Facebook that can now be a boosted post. Could be chopped down into something else that becomes an ad that you're currently running to get people just to come see your stuff. Don't stop. I'll tell you, this is way off topic, but do not stop your marketing efforts just because what you were doing is not the same as what you are doing now. The same amount of effort should be put behind your current online presence as it was when you were doing things in person. Highlights for donors. So easy. We're always looking for things to give our donors. Highlights, a bloopers reel, a clip of a thing, right? It's great for newsletters. I pull one video from our Twitch every week and put it in our newsletter. That's like, hey, missed our Twitch streaming this week? Here's a highlight of one of our favorite shows for what you missed. It is really simple to rip audio from a live stream and turn it into a podcast. I'll go ahead and tell you, all those youngsters I was talking about in your life, they could probably do that with their eyes closed. There are literal apps for that, if you can believe that just change your content over to just audio. That's an easy way to launch a podcast right now. Do a talk show, put a podcast out of the same thing. And then, of course, if you're streaming to Facebook, there's nothing saying that Facebook stream can't become a YouTube video. You don't have to stream it live to YouTube. Just put it up as a video afterwards so that people can continue to gain access to it. It's an archive, basically. So recycle and reuse. This is important. And this was what I was trying to get to, because I didn't want to miss this before everybody has to go. There are some things that you must remember. You must remember when you're live streaming. The most important thing is copyright and intellectual property. You cannot use content that does not belong to you. Not music, not books. A lot of authors are giving permission right now, like Neil Gaiman's one of them, who has given permission for people to read his works live on live streams. But like, for example, I saw somebody do a Harry Potter reading. They're just reading through the Harry Potter books live. That's illegal. Unless you have express permission or have paid J.K. Rowling and her publishers. You can't just read it live if it's not yours. It's why a lot of companies and a lot of my groups of friends, we're doing a lot of classical work right now that is in the public domain. Shakespeare. Easy. Lowest hanging fruit. Grab it. Go. For the theater companies out there, you can't just launch a musical rendition. There are rights to be considered for that. You can't just play Spotify in the background, because every song that you play could be a copyright hit on your Facebook page. 3 of them and you're done. So definitely consider that. And that, I'll tell you, that was the hardest thing for me to get through to my improvisers, because they just wanted to pull up any beats they found online and improvise over top of them, or they wanted to pull up their favorite movie and review it. But we don't have rights to that movie to live stream it. I don't have the rights to say, I don't know, Lord of the Rings. We can't just rebroadcast Lord of the Rings and do our own commentary over top. We don't have the rights to broadcast Lord of the Rings. So instead, go to YouTube and find videos of stuff in public domain. Watch yourself. In addition to the bulleted list, part of what's on that list is a series of free resources for you. One of which are sites where you can get free music and you can get free video. Not everything's allowed on a live stream. Facebook specifically, and Twitch. Facebook and Twitch have quite a few community standards. No nudity, no illegal activities, no harmful activities. For example, Twitch now, because people were doing streams where like you could donate and they would take a shot, but when you get so many donations, now you're just harming yourself live on screen. You can't do that. Twitch doesn't even allow you to impersonate people. Like I can't dress as, say, I don't know, I can't dress as, say, President Bush and go sit down and pretend to do a stream as President Bush. You cannot do that on Twitch. Know your community guidelines. Know the guidelines for the platform. Facebook has a very large section on it, and you need to make sure, because they will ping you. They will mute the sound, and after so many copyright like checks and infringement, they will shut your page down. They'll just shut it down. And without question, they're not going to go review it. They're not going to hear you out. They're just going to shut it down. So please make sure. Like I said, watch your chat, not just because you need to be interacting with your community, but because you need to keep them safe. The internet is full of trolls, full of people that want to come into your live streams and say horrible things. It will happen. You are not immune to it. You and a team of people, maybe at least one other person, needs to be there in chat at all times with the availability to ban or mute people. I have a moderation team of 5 people that help run the stream at Dad's Garage now. And in addition, we have 2 additional just chat moderators. So at any given time, one of the 7 of us are also in chat to assure when somebody comes in with, say, racist comments, we can ban them immediately. I tell you this because it takes most people by surprise, and it shouldn't. When you put your videos and your content out to the web, you put it out to everyone, including the bad people. And be kind to yourself. Live streaming is a thing. Mistakes are bound to happen. You're bound to flub a word or have a tech issue or start late. Just be real with people. Again, they come to a live stream not because they want to just watch your content, because they want to watch you. They want to watch what you have to offer. And if you're having problems or you're struggling or it's a bad day or tech is being weird, just be honest with them. If you flub a word, accept it. We're all human. And I'll answer this. Actually, I'm going to save that question for the end because I've got a whole question section, and that's where I'll take questions. This is our last slide of the night. So key takeaways from today. Choose the right live streaming platform for you currently, for your current audience, and for the technology that you have. You cannot be on all of them. Come up with a creative idea that emphasizes interaction. Your streams should be creative in that we don't have to rock somebody's world or change somebody's mind about something, but they need to be fun to watch. And sometimes simply reading or chatting is not enough. Drum up awareness and excitement. Whether you do that through your other social media platforms, which I highly recommend, through these cheerleaders for your companies, these influencers. I loved what you said earlier, and I can't remember what you called them. What did we call them? We called them, social media ambassadors. I love that. Whoever they are, get the word out there. Don't just let live streaming be a thing that you do. Like, you need to be putting as much effort in getting the word out that you're doing live streaming as you are in actually doing the live streaming. Execute your live feed. At some point, you just got to go live. At some point, you just got to hit the button. Who cares if it looks good? Who cares if it's perfect? The bigger, most important thing is that you do it. Because once you do it one time, the second time will become a lot easier. And then lastly, recycle it. Recycle and reuse that content, because it is content that you're making. Therefore, it's your content to use however you see fit. And in a time when things are struggling, where we need to be making more contact with our donors than ever before, when we need to be building patron love of our organization based on mission right now, because we can't have direct contact with them, recycling that content across all those platforms is so easy and terribly important. Okay. Now we're in questions time. So I'm going to answer some of these questions that have already come through. Now is the prime time if you have other questions to drop them in. Zoom already lets you pull an audio. Oh, right. Okay. Do copyright and IP rules apply to Zoom rooms as well? No, because if it's a private Zoom room, Anita, meaning it's like you're not broadcasting your Zoom room out to someone, no. Now I will tell you this. I had a conversation with a couple of the smaller community theaters here in town who basically wanted to do a private Zoom room with like a cast and people that paid money, and you get the link to the Zoom room and you come in and say, we do a private reading of a play. Totally fine. Just know, if that publishing company finds out that you're making money off a reading to which is considered a performance, the moment you have an audience, even in a private Zoom room, they could ask you to come back and pay royalties for that. They could. They have a right to do that. Now, the likelihood of them finding out that you're hosting 50 people in a Zoom room that you're doing a chat for, not as likely, but it is still a possibility. Great question, and Campbell Kelly, great question. How do you address accessibility for those with hearing impairments or visual impairments during live stream, like captioning? Okay, so there are a few options, none of which are unfortunately easy, I'll be honest. As somebody that pays for closed captioning on my channel, I save money to pay a person to live caption my streams. That's the first and best way, is to pay a person to do it. The next option, there are a few websites. There's one in particular, and it is, I'll have to add it to the list when I think about it. I have to remember what it's called, where basically every person, every person in your Zoom call will have to open up this website and start a fresh, like a fresh browser of this website, where it will capture their voice through, just their voice, through their microphone, and caption it to a screen. Then whoever's hosting the chat, whoever's hosting the Zoom chat or is hosting the broadcasting, has to get a link from every individual person of their individual closed captioning feed and capture each one of them to the screen, which you could do in, say, a program like OBS. But it takes a lot of extra work. Honestly, my suggestion, and what I did before is, and I had a hearing impaired friend actually tell me this, that sometimes when you have a lot of people on screen, say 8 people, and they're all talking, even if they're not talking over each other, that having all these multiple boxes where we're having to like figure out what order to read in is actually worse than just having one feed where everybody can read it, which of course requires a single person to close caption everyone. But YouTube is amazing. YouTube has a built-in closed captioning. When you upload a video to YouTube and you tell it it's in English, it will automatically close caption that for you. And what's great about the back end of YouTube is I can go in to the transcript that YouTube basically auto-populated and edit it if they said something wrong or spelled something wrong, or it needs a break, or they missed a word. So for a while, I was actually encouraging my hearing impaired audience to go to my YouTube, because it was a more accurate and would be easier on them to read than it would be to do it live. Yes, there's also, I'm sure that there are people out there that would be happy to be on your stream to, say, sign the stream. Would be an interesting thing to see. Hopefully that answered that question. So there are multiple options, and the unfortunate thing is that none of them are very easy. How would you broadcast an interview or group discussion when not all of the participants are willing or able to turn on their webcams? That's tricky. We had one group like that for the Georgia Gives Day. And what we ended up doing was that person still called in to the Zoom call via their cell phone. Most people don't realize Zoom also provides an actual phone number. You can like conference call, boop, boop, boop into the same call. They called in via their cell phone so that all we heard was their voice. That's it in a nutshell. You just capture their voice with everybody else's voice. Let's see. We tried a first live stream last week using Zoom via OBS onto Facebook. We used Zoom for live interviews with musicians between pre-recorded videos of their performances and pulled up on OBS. We kept running into issues with audio problems on the live chats. I think it was input-output issues with Zoom or OBS. Without getting bogged down in details here. Without getting bogged down in details here, do you have recommended resources for troubleshooting this? I could sit here and Jesse and walk you through all the tech stuff. If it is of interest to you, I have a video on my personal YouTube that is setting up your stream 101 with me. I walk you through setting up OBS. What I'm hearing, and in short, is more than likely you have the incorrect input and output. Yeah, you have incorrect input output. Who do I use for live captioning? Like I said, I have a friend that does it. She lives in Arizona, but there are companies that you can pay to do the live captioning. I want to think, I know that there are resources here in Georgia for that because we have a couple nonprofits that serve both the blind and the hearing impaired. And I feel like they would be able to point you to a company probably better than I can that would be able to tell you like how you could pay somebody to caption it, because basically I pay her by the hour and she just captions it live right there on the screen now, versus me having to go back into YouTube and edit it. Yes. All right. I don't see any more questions coming through. It's kind of last call. I know it is a lot of information as you start into this. If you've already started it, great. Maybe you're at a point where you may need to rethink what you're bringing to your live stream. You may want to, it may be the time where you need to step it up, where you need to say, go from just a single person to looking at a software. And I'll tell you, as great as OBS is, it is a very difficult software to learn. It is not easy, and it is not for the faint of heart. I would highly suggest you, if all you're doing is trying to get Zoom over and you're not trying to do anything, go use Restream. If all you're doing is just trying to get your Zoom chats to Facebook or to Twitch or to your platform of choice, and you're not going to be using any of the additional snazzy things of OBS, I would suggest Restream in a heartbeat. It's much easier and a lot faster for starting up. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today. Like I said, I know it is a lot of information. More importantly, if you did enjoy this, please let GCN know. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I think Emily's going to share hers because she's got a thing. Did I do it? Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So feel free, my email is there for you to reach out if you need something. Things are a little crazy right now, obviously, because I'm literally doing 2 jobs instead of 1 job, but I will do my absolute best to reach out to you to answer any additional questions that you may have. I highly encourage you to drop by and come watch Dad's Garage streams, come see what we're doing and how we do it. It's definitely something. It's definitely something. I'll tell you that. We are making it work. That's for sure. So yeah, come check us out. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I will, like I said, follow up with some additional links and things that you can look at on your own. The 3 articles that I'm linking you to, one of them is about tech. It is about microphones. It is about cameras. It is like a deeper dive into your technology. One of them is ideas for live stream content. And I believe one of them is more of just like a reference document, but you'll have everything that you need there. And if you would like a deeper dive into streaming, remember to tell GCN that you would like to see something on setting up your live streaming, or we want to talk about monetization of your live streaming. These are some additional conversations that we could have and dive deeper into ways where you can really leverage your live streams. But first, You just got to know how to do it. So I want to thank everybody for being here, for taking your afternoon with me. Hopefully you got what you needed out of it. And if you didn't, again, I'm more than happy to answer questions. So please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. That was incredible, great information, and lots of new things to process, as you said. So a couple ways to follow up. There's not really a slide deck here because so much of what Chelsea did was sharing, right? She's doing all those things she told us to do in live stream. So we will get the replay out to everybody. Those are right now at gcn.org/replays. You can also contact Chelsea directly. She's Chelsea at Dad's Garage. And I know she'll be happy to help you with some things there. Questions for GCN, or like Chelsea said, if you have requests for content that you want to see us provide to you as we all sort of navigate this new digital, virtual, live streaming video world, please let us know, because we are here for you and we want to continue to be so. So that's info@gcn.org. Thank you so much again to Chelsea. Y'all have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.